Hello, I'm Danny.
And I'm Jake.
And this is Marvel Talk. Hey everybody, welcome back to Marvel Talk. We're here with some great episodes as usual. We're going to be having 2 episodes this month.
I was going to say usual is a strong word.
Usual, yeah. Yeah, as things are still slow, you know, we're slowly trying to get back in the groove with our normal scheduling here.
Oh, yeah.
For now, we're just going to be talking about what you see in the title, and then we'll get into more news stuff on a next episode that should be out fairly soon. I know the PlayStation event just happened as we're recording, and there's some good stuff to talk about there. But today, we're going to be talking about The Boys and New Mutants. But before we get into that, the Avengers game did come out. I haven't played anything, but you've been playing it, right, Jake?
Yeah. I had like 2 different experiences with the game. First experience I had was playing the beta version of it. Took forever to actually like work on my PlayStation. I don't know why it took so long for Square Enix's servers to finally kick in, but they did eventually. And I played a little bit of the beta, and it was like the opening story mission, and then it kind of flashes forward in the story. So I just waited to play more of it. It's not too bad. It has a lot of the same issues that I had with Jedi Fallen Order, in terms of how buggy it is. Like, this game it's so buggy. There's like textures disappearing on and off random people. Like NPCs will be walking around and doing random stuff and then not match up to their actions. And it's a good buggy mess. It's great. It's fun. My favorite part is that anytime you fall off a ledge, it does a dying animation, and then you have to wait like 2 minutes for the game to reload. That's my favorite part so far. Oh yeah,
wow.
Those load times, man, they're pretty rough. And I don't know if that's because I'm playing it on an original PlayStation and not on a Pro, but I don't know. The load times are pretty bad. But I think the combat's really good. I'm not a huge fan of Kamala. She's just kind of very boring to me as a character. I don't know. I'm not super into the self-insert stuff, because that's what she feels like as a self-insert character, which is hilarious because at the beginning of the game she's visiting this Avengers Day deal because she got an award for writing one of the best Avengers fan fictions.
Yeah, that's Kamala Khan for you.
Oh man, it's so bad. I was laughing so hard. I was like, "Are you for real? Like that's how we're getting her into this situation? That she's just a crazy fangirl." And my God, if the beginning of this game doesn't play out like a fan fiction, Kamala goes to Avengers Day, and not only does she get an award for writing a great fan fiction, she also meets every one of the main Avengers, and they all say she's the coolest person they've met today. And I'm like, oh my God, I can't deal with this. I cannot deal. Like, it's so to a point, it's kind of funny because it's like, it's what every normal person would dream about if they got to go meet the Avengers. Right. But I'm not here to play a game about me meeting the Avengers. I'm here to play a game about the Avengers. So I don't know. It's not my favorite.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know too much about Kamala's character. When I did check out the comics that she was in, it was just the early stuff that's very similar in the game.
Yeah, I don't know who she is in the comic book or anything, but this version of her is a little bit obnoxious. I don't know. There's a lot of contextual stuff that doesn't make a whole lot of sense about her powers in terms of like how you play the game more than the story. She can stretch her feet to be really big and her hands to be really big. And she can stretch herself out as well. So you'd think that falling off of like a 2-story building wouldn't really be a problem. But apparently the game thinks that's if you fall off of something that height, then you just die, and then it reloads the game.
Yes, that's the video game problem right there.
Yeah. And I was like, but she would survive that fall. Like, she'd be fine. Like, there's no reason why she would be like hurt by that fall. I don't.
Well, I mean, it's like dying as Wolverine in a video game. It's like,
Oh yeah. Like you'd never be able to die as Wolverine. No.
yeah.
Like.
That was my favorite thing about Ultimate Alliance. I made sure Wolverine was on my team because they did give him the healing factor in that game.
Oh, there you go.
It was very slow, so I would spend a lot of time in a hallway by myself as Wolverine.
Oh my god.
Yeah, those are the times.
But that's just my initial impressions of the game, and I just got to a part where she meets the Hulk for this after the time jump that happens.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so there is a time jump right at the beginning of the game. And I was just sitting, I don't know. I was just waiting to play as another Avengers character, and I feel like I still have about another hour before I'm actually going to get to do missions as any of the other Avengers.
Yeah, that's kind of what I expected for that game.
Yeah, I don't know how much more I'm going to play of it.
Could you do online missions right now, or do you have to wait till post game?
No, I haven't done any yet, but I think I can go in and I can do more. Like, I think I can go in and do multiplayer missions now. I'd have to check. Because initially, this is something that's kind of fun. At the beginning of the game, when you before you start the campaign, it shows that on the starting screen all 5 of the main Avengers. So it's like Hulk, Iron Man, Captain America, Black Widow, Thor, and then after you play that opening story mission, like when you exit the game, if you haven't found any of the other Avengers yet, the screen is just empty, like an empty hangar with like Captain America's shield on the ground.
Oh, okay.
So does that mean just I can't play as any of those people now because I haven't found them in the main game yet?
You gotta unlock them in the story, it sounds like, yeah.
Oh my gosh. So it's like if I hadn't even started the main game, I probably could have played as all of those characters in the multiplayer starting out, but I don't know. But yeah, I haven't tried the multiplayer yet.
Yeah, the only things I've seen are these, there's a Twitter account called Sun He Legend, and he posts amazing GIFs from video games, and mainly like the combat stuff that you could really do. And I've seen the Avengers stuff that they post on there, and the combos look really good. Like the combat looks fluid and a nice character action kind of thing.
The combat is super fun. I so far have been able to fight a few people as Miss Marvel, even though I'm not a big fan of her character. Being able to do gum punches to robots that are like 20 feet away is pretty freaking fun. I can't lie. That's pretty sweet. I'm pretty into it. I got to say, at least from a combat standpoint, I just wish there wasn't like 2 hours of story mode in between these combat missions, man. It's so boring.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
And that's the worst part is that it's boring. Like to me, I've seen this storyline a few different ways in different media and stuff. Like, oh, the Justice League has to split up because of blah blah blah. Oh, the Avengers are split up and now they're being hunted because of da da da. There's even like a part where like Black Widow has like she's hiding in a crowd, but like her hair is long and red, and she's just reading a newspaper about the Avengers, and she's in a trench coat, and it's like, what am I looking at here? Is this the Incredibles? Like what? That's the beginning of the Incredibles. So I don't know. It's not my favorite, but MODOK being the main villain looks like it's gonna go some interesting places. I don't know, but they're also kind of hinting that MODOK might not be the main villain, and it might be the sidekick lady. Very, very Incredibles 2 in that fashion.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, it's not the guy you suspect it to be. It's the strong, powerful woman. I mean, it's fine I guess it worked when they did it with Bane, sort of. But I don't know. I just wanted MODOK to be the bad guy. But again, I haven't played through the whole thing, so I don't know if that's how it pans out or not.
Yeah. The only thing I ever saw with this game is like, it's just buggy, like you were saying. A streamer I watch on launch day or launch night, it just wouldn't happen. It didn't want to do anything. It kept crashing every time. He's like, "Screw this! I'm deleting this. I'll be back maybe."
Yeah.
So
that
sucks.
It's pretty rough. My favorite glitch I've seen so far in a clip show is Thor glitched and lost all his hair and his beard, and then it just had like the discoloration on his texture model for where they should be. It was great. It was like, oh, bald Thor, that's the one we need. We need bald Thor.
That's always fun.
So that was pretty great. But yeah, otherwise I don't know. It's such an okay middle of the road game. I was thinking about it. It feels like Disney's old adventure adaptation games that they would make for like Toy Story 2 and Lilo and Stitch and Chicken Little. Like every cartoon movie for a little while had like a platforming collectathon adventure game that you could play. And that's kind of how this feels. It feels like one of those kind of games. Because there are collectibles you can find. Like you can find like comic books all over the place that say they're written by Stan Lee. But it looks like the depth of upgrading your character's attacks and stuff is pretty good. Like in the upgrade menu, like there's a lot of different skill sets and combos and stuff you can mix together and everything to change up how each of the characters kind of play, which is kind of nice. Ultimately, there's not a ton going on for me with this game. I don't know.
Yeah, you always hate to see it.
Yeah, I kind of just wish it was just a good single player experience. Like I would have traded the multiplayer aspects of this game to have just a good single player mode where you're switching between characters on different missions, so that all of their locations and stuff are wildly different. Like you couldn't play an Iron Man level with the Hulk, and you couldn't play like a Black Widow level with Thor. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's kind of what I was hoping for, but instead in this one, you can kind of complete every level with whatever character you want because of the multiplayer aspect of it. I don't know. If it's like $30, I'd say get it. Get it for $30. Don't pay full price for this game.
Before we get off of this, there was a piece of news to go with the game. They also announced that Kate Bishop is joining the roster, and that she's going to be the first post character to come out. So she's the next thing to see for the game in the next big update. I was like, that's cool. We're getting Kate Bishop, but at the same time, like, you just announced Hawkeye.
Yeah, I'm like, where's Hawkeye in this? I don't, unless he's just included in the Kate Bishop storyline.
Yeah, I mean, I would be fine with that if they both came out at the same time. I'm sure that's something that they could do.
Unless Kate Bishop's story leads into Hawkeye or something. Like it's something like a rescue mission type deal. Like Hawkeye's in trouble, he's in over his head. Something that is kind of cool is they definitely fully hint at Captain Marvel in the first like 10 minutes of this game. Kamala is walking around and she meets Captain America just walking around this event. And he goes, huh, nice shirt. I guess you're a Captain Marvel fan, huh? And Kamala's like, oh my god, yeah. Well, she's off planet right now dealing with some business, but I'm sure if she was here, she'd love to meet you. Cringy as all get out, but that's cool that they're aware of other Avengers characters being around. So, I don't know. World building levels, cool. Cringy level, really hard. Like, really heavy.
Yeah, I'm sure she'll pop up eventually, depending on the longevity of this game.
And I don't know how real any of this is, but there was a list of the characters that somebody data mined from the beta version of the game. Did you see that list?
No, I didn't.
Somebody data mined it back on August 17th. It's just a list of who the other potential characters are going to be down the line. So you got some pretty cool names on here. I don't want to go over all of them.
We could say one that I think was confirmed, which is Black Panther. Sadly, R.I.P. Chadwick Boseman. I think Square Enix did make a statement when they announced Kate Bishop that we are planning on Black Panther to come in, but we don't have anything yet, so he's not going to be the first DLC.
So I'd say this list is a pretty real list. I don't know how much we want to talk about it, just because if people don't want to get spoiled or whatever.
I'll just say this. It's very MCU inspired.
For sure. I'm curious about one character on here. Maybe the original version, let's say, of a character that we already talked about. I'm very curious about how they're going to go with that. Is it going to be like the movie version? Or are we going to get like a full-on comic book version of this guy?
I would argue a mix, I think.
You think so?
I've been hearing talk about the game and how some people are just saying this game isn't tied to the movies, right? Like it's not Chris Evans, RDJ.
Yeah, they're not specifically like the films, yeah.
All the stuff I saw in the trailers, it's like you could clearly tell they put some RDJ stuff with Tony Stark in this game. Pretty much almost everybody kind of feels like a little bits and pieces from the MCU. For the character we're talking about, it's probably gonna appearance-wise probably towards the movies, but maybe more towards the comics and combat and all that.
I think this list looks pretty cool. The list is out there and available if anybody wants to go look it up. It's pretty easy to search. There's, I mean, there's a certain medical professional on this list that I was really excited to see.
Right, yeah.
So I'm pretty stoked on that at least. And I know that one of the other people in this is probably pretty much confirmed. Hank Pym does make an appearance later in the game. Like he's older Hank Pym. So again, we're
Okay.
going with that MCU style versions of the characters.
Yeah.
But he does exist, which helps confirm some other characters that are on this list. And I do like that there's some Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. love going on this list.
I mean, the fan base is there from the show. And plus, the characters from that show that are on this list, those were some pretty big fan favorites. One thing I will say, yeah, this is a large list, and if everyone is confirmed to come in, that's going to take a long time to get through that whole thing.
Unless not all of these characters are story-based characters, like there may only... I feel like out of this entire list of people, we'll probably get about 5 to 8 new chapters of storyline stuff. And I think that's about it. I think most of these other characters might just be strictly DLC add-on, like, oh, you can play through all the missions you've had before with these new people type characters.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Some of these on here are a little confusing. Like, I don't really... Hulkbuster. Like, the Hulkbuster suit's in the main game already, but this list has it listed, like, separately.
I can imagine that's not playable online.
Well, Hulkbuster is it's like a finishing move type deal you can get for Iron Man in the game. So then he just goes into Hulkbuster mode, and you just run around and wreck stuff as the Hulkbuster suit.
But that's a limited time thing, right?
Yeah, but you can upgrade it to basically be, like, the entire time you're fighting stuff. You can stay in it pretty permanently, but maybe it'll be, like, a separate character now or something.
You said this was data mined from the beta, right? So, like, I'm sure the Hulkbuster files are already there, so that would make sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. Maybe it's considered a different character because it takes up a different amount of space.
So cool, man. That's Avengers.
All I'm saying is I hope that these new DLC characters also add in some more variety to the levels and stuff. Because right now it's all very samey. It's all fetch quests and destroy all the AIM robots.
Yeah, it's very typical generic stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, you're not fighting a lot of too much different stuff going on. So I hope it gets better as time goes on.
Yeah, let's hope so.
Yeah, because right now it just feels it feels very Jedi Fallen Order in the fact that it's like middle of the road experience and not like a standout. Like this is an amazing 9 out of 10 game. Currently, for me, it's sitting probably around like a 6 or a 7 out of 10.
Before we go on to the main segments of the show, just real quick, I decided, you know what? I think it's time to go through the DC animated universe. Because that ended, I think it was this year or last year with the Apocalypse Wars movie.
Yeah, it was this year. I think it came out.
This year? Yeah. Yeah, so while everything was going on in live action, yeah, the animated universe was going on since Flashpoint Paradox is technically the first film, because that reboots basically, I guess you could say, the old stuff, even though none of it really connected, but that was the starting point for all the new stuff to come forward. And I know they bring it up in the last film, in Apocalypse Wars. So, yeah, I decided, you know what, I think it's time to go in. So I rewatched the Flashpoint Paradox. Still a solid movie.
Yeah, it's the only movie you get to see Batman cry, as far as I know.
But it's great, man. I forgot how many actors are in this movie that are doing voices. Like Michael B. Jordan is Cyborg in the movie. That was a cool thing.
Oh, Michael B. Jordan would be a great Cyborg, man. He'd be so good.
Yeah, I liked what he did with Cyborg. Man, Nathan Fillion did such a great job for what he had on screen for Hal Jordan and Green Lantern.
Man, if you want to watch just a Green Lantern movie where he's Hal Jordan the whole time, Nathan Fillion's Hal Jordan in the Emerald Knights movie, which is kind of a collection of different Green Lantern stories.
Like, they show off, like, all the Green Lanterns from Earth, right? Like, I think one of the stories is the newest member, right, which was that girl.
Well, this one came out back in 2011. So this was pre the Middle Eastern Green Lantern, who's part of the team. Simon Baz. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
it's before he came in. But this one has like there's like a part that's like about Hal Jordan and Sinestro. There's a part about like Kilowog. There's a section about Abin Sur. So this one's kind of like a collection of like almost episodes.
Okay, yeah, I remember this.
But this one's I always liked Emerald Knights. I thought it was fun. So Flashpoint's where the actual universe started, right?
It was the last movie before, because the movie after Flashpoint was Justice League War, and that was the
Ah,
start of
okay.
where all the films connected. Yeah,
Right, because that's the new 52 movie.
I know we're big fans of Tom Cruise as Hal Jordan, but if Nathan Fillion could do the role too, and for the live action, that would be great.
Bro, Nathan Fillion should have been in the part like so long ago. I also had a little like if Bruce Campbell had been born like 10 years later, Bruce Campbell also would have been a really good Hal Jordan.
Oh yeah,
Going to the point that he's the suit model for a lot of the Alex Ross paintings from like back when Alex Ross was doing a lot of DC art.
oh cool.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. I love all the future stuff in that movie still. Like thinking back on it, I love all the Thomas Wayne, Martha stuff, and it just makes me wish we were gonna get Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
Yeah, that would have been a good pick. So yeah, again, Flashpoint to Paradox. What a fantastic film! Highly recommend. Oh yeah, Ron Perlman was in this film as well, which was great. He was Deathstroke.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, and that's a perfect cast too. Honestly.
Is Ron Perlman who plays it in the old? Yeah, he plays it in Teen Titans, right?
Oh, I think he does.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he plays it in both. So it's like they brought him back basically from Teen Titans to be in this.
Yeah, everything's great. The Atlantean Amazonian War was good stuff. The Shazam Kids concept was great. I'm looking forward to checking out Justice League War again. I like that film a lot too.
Yeah, Justice League War I remember being like super good. I haven't seen the one right after it that introduces Aquaman.
Oh yeah, yeah, Throne of Atlantis. Yeah, I got my list for the universe. So I'll be going through those films.
Well, how much of this do you think is going to come into the Zack Snyder one?
Maybe some of it. I think the team up with Batman and the Flash will probably play a heavy role, right? It'll be similar to this, I think.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, because again, the relationship that they have in Justice League, and I like their interaction. So that's still the big thing I want to see for that movie.
Yeah.
So yeah, next episode, hopefully I'll be back for Justice League War and talk about that. So, without further ado, man, let's go ahead and start off the main segment of this show. Let's go ahead and start off with New Mutants.
I got to see it. It exists. It's real. It's not a myth. It's actually out. You can go watch it in theaters. What a weird concept. Oh boy, this movie needed to come out before Logan because there's some very important stuff in this movie that ties directly into Logan and like the Essex Corporation and all that stuff. Like the weird buildup that Fox was doing with Mr. Sinister. There's more of that in this movie, and it's not like heavy. Like it's not like a main focus of the story or anything.
Okay.
But it's definitely like a part of it. To a point where I was like, oh yeah, this could have done way better, probably coming out to hype Logan up better. Because this would have come out before Logan, right?
No, this was going to be after Logan.
This was always going to be after Logan? Okay.
Yeah, this was going to be set. This was the next film slated, I think, and then it was Dark Phoenix.
I for some reason I thought it was supposed to come out before Logan at one point.
I think it was supposed to be November 2017. That's what it was. Oh, no, it was originally set for April of 2018 for New Mutants.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I thought it was supposed to come out 2017 at some point.
Unless it was filmed at
Okay.
2017. That's probably what it was.
Oh, maybe that's what it was. It was probably shot in 2017.
Yeah.
Either way, I think this movie should have come out probably before Logan, because of some of the storyline stuff going on in it.
Okay.
But that's not main story stuff. This is by far the most progressive Marvel movie that's ever been made, which is really funny because of all the controversy around it with the casting of the main Doctor lady, who I thought the lady they did pick did a fantastic job. I thought she was great, especially when she did the heel turn halfway through the movie to being a villain. That was awesome. So the main girl in this movie, Danielle Moonstar, is her character name. She is both a Native American and a lesbian. She has a whole love story with Macy Williams' character
Oh,
throughout the film. So I didn't see that coming at all. Wasn't advertised at all in the trailers, but didn't feel in my face. Didn't feel shoved in. Felt very natural for the characters. So I didn't have any problems with it or anything. It was just that's who these characters are, and that's it. Perfect. That's how you handle it. So it's just so funny with all the controversy going around about this movie. That's the aspect of it that I'm like, oh yeah, no, that's I what? Why are people mad about this other thing? I don't know. Weird.
I know the casting for Sunspot also turned a lot of people sour, as well as what the director said during an interview, I think the week before it
Yeah.
dropped. Yeah.
Hey, Sunspot was great. I don't know who was originally cast for the character or if anybody else was intended to be cast, but this guy did a great job. I don't know. I loved it. I think all the cast members actually did really really well, and I'm a little sad this movie came out so late because I'm like, it's got all these actors that everybody knew really well about 3 years ago, and now they're like nowhere. Because you got Will's older brother from Stranger Things, who plays
Yes.
Cannonball, and his whole bit is that he can vibrate his arms and legs super fast and charge them up and then shoot off like a rocket, but he doesn't have invincibility. So if he runs into anything, he just gets hurt. So like he blasts through walls and he'll like break his face open and like snap his arms, and it's like the worst superpower to have. It's great. Anya Taylor-Joy as Magic was wonderful. She was so awesome. I love her Russian accent and everything. And then you get to see Lockheed in this movie. Like Lockheed shows up. Her little dragon buddy pops up in this film.
Yeah,
So that was
that was a
awesome.
surprise for me, for her to show
Yeah,
up.
that was. I didn't see it in any of the trailers, like that this dragon popped up or anything. It was just like just they're in the middle of the final fight, and all of a sudden there's a dragon, and I was like, oh, there's a dragon. That's cool. Okay, rad. This movie is one of the best movies I've ever seen. That's pretty rad. Um, so I really enjoyed a lot of it. I think that the spooky moments probably could have been, a little spookier, like a little scarier, than what was in the final film. That kind of came off a little tame. But I feel like they were trying to ride the line a little bit
Mhm.
between spooky and superhero.
It was PG-13, right?
Yeah, PG-13.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
So they couldn't go full. I feel like if this had been an R-rated movie, they definitely could have done a lot more to push the envelope. But it also had kind of a shorter runtime. I feel like this movie was only like an hour 30, hour 45. And I feel like it could have done with like an extra 15 or so minutes
Hmm.
to help like pad it out a little bit. But I think all the character development's really good, and I love the backstories of these tragic teenagers where all of their superpowers just kind of went out of control, and either hurt somebody or sectioned them off from people that they loved. Like I was like, this is very good, like X-Men content. Like this is very good X-Men stuff. So as an X-Men fan, I think it was awesome, and I coming at it from that perspective, I think there was a lot of holes that I filled in terms of filling in the blanks on this movie. So I don't know. It was pretty good. They do mention the X-Men. They mention Professor Xavier. Like all of those characters do get little shout outs here and there. But overall it's not super connected to any of the other movies, so you can watch this as a nice standalone experience. Let's just try out something different and throw it at the wall and see what sticks. It's it's very nice.
Was there any mention? Did Magic mention anything about Colossus or anything like that?
No, she didn't mention Colossus at all. I was kind of bummed
Mm.
that we didn't get a Colossus mention. Yeah, that was a little bit of a bummer.
You think they
Uh,
would, because I think he is fairly popular, right? After the Deadpool movies.
oh yeah, for sure. But I feel like this might have been like before they kind of had a grasp of how popular Colossus could be. So maybe they
Mm.
were still kind of wading their feet, because like none of the stuff in this movie felt like it was added after the fact. Like there's no reshoot stuff going on.
Yeah, that's
It
what I
doesn't feel
heard.
like this definitely feels like this was the cut of the movie we showed to people however long ago, and this is just what we've had sitting in our closet for 2 years. So here, we'll just put it out now. So yeah, there didn't really feel like there was too much of that kind of stuff, which was kind of a bummer. One of the things that I liked a lot about this one, though, was the footage they do show because they do show direct footage from Logan, and it's footage from when kids are getting experimented on at the Essex Corporation.
Oh,
Like the cell phone, it's like the cell phone camera footage, like straight up, it's like the same stuff. And I was like, oh, hey, that's that kid that pushes a guy against the wall when they're trying to escape from the Essex Corporation spot. That's kind of fun. Yeah. Right. The way they show it in the movie's a little weird because Danielle Moonstar, her character, is essentially the force behind all of the nightmares that are happening. Like that's like her mutant power is she can bring people's worst fears to life. So but also she can also read minds to a point. Like if she's touching someone, she can read their mind. So she touches the scientist, the doctor ladies, like at some point, and she's able to read her mind. And that's where we get the footage from Logan of like the kids escaping the Essex facility. So that's a little weird, the way they incorporate it. When it popped up, I was like, that's from Logan. And I looked just like Leonardo DiCaprio from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, pointing at the screen.
Right, yeah.
I was like, that's that part. That's that scene.
We have a time frame for what this movie set in?
Not like a specific time period. It's definitely modern day.
Okay.
I would probably say the year it was originally supposed to come out would have been the time frame for it. Because they, like I said, they mention, like, one of the things they talk about is, why do you think we're in this facility? And what's his name? Sunspot? What's is that his character's name?
Yeah.
Sunspot's character, he goes, well, why do you think we're here, man? It's a training program. We're here to get ready to go to the mansion, you know? And then he puts his hand against his forehead and does like the woo, like, and it's all while he's like wiggling around in a wheelchair, which is great. Like, and they're like, you don't think we'd actually be able to join the X-Men, do you? And he's like, well, even if we could, I don't think I'd want to be a part of them. They're just a bunch of people who do it for the money, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, oh my God. That's hilarious. But then they find out later that, no, we're not here to join the X-Men. We're here to be used as weapons by Essex Corporation. Blah, blah, blah.
Okay. So I would imagine this would probably connect to the Deadpool universe that they made.
Yeah, this would probably be a pretty good bridge point for that. I would say that that's probably closer to the time period it's set in. To me, it didn't matter that it had like a specific spot that it fit. Just knowing that it's like another story that's happening in the X-Men universe was just kind of cool. It was just kind of nice to have that. There was kind of an interesting thing with Magic's power. Like she warps into like an alternate dimension that she calls Limbo.
Mm-hmm.
That she like created in her own mind through using her mutant powers. But it was just kind of interesting looking at it because I'm like, oh, that you know, that could be part of the quantum realm. That little purple area you keep going to there. That's very interesting how that visually looks and could tie into other Marvel movies down the line. Maybe, I don't know. I personally would like to see this group of characters get brought back in a future movie if it's possible, because I really like them. I don't know, they're fun characters. They have a good camaraderie about them. Magic starts off as like super duper racist against Native Americans, and then by the end of the movie she's like, yeah, I guess you're fine, I guess you're cool.
Okay.
Yeah, she keeps calling like the main girl like Pocahontas and like Sacagawea, and like, it's horrible. I was like, wow, okay, Magic, cool. My favorite part about it is I feel like there's some type of copyright, because you've heard the old Native American tale of like there's two wolves that live inside you, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So one of two things happened with this, right? So that's the original story. That's the real life one. In the movie, they change it to there's a story of two bears that live inside you instead of wolves. Oh, and I was like, okay. Why bears? Why is it bears? And I was like, so it's either bears because one, they can't actually use that story for copyright problems or something, or two, it's because Wolfsbane is in the movie, and she turns into a wolf. I don't.
I could see that.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what the reasoning is behind changing that story. So that was just kind of a fun, weird part of it. And I was like, I don't get it. But the very beginning was great because it opens up with Danielle's voiceover, like talking about this tale of the two bears, and all I could flash back to was X-Men Origins Wolverine.
Kue Kuatsu.
Yeah.
Cuckoo got screwed.
That's all I was thinking about, that entire opening part. I was like, oh, somebody who worked on X-Men Origins worked on this movie. I can tell. This is good stuff.
Cuckoo got screwed, yeah. Classic line.
Yeah, by far the best line from X-Men Origins Wolverine.
No, you can't forget the other line from Sabretooth when he sees Logan with the adamantium claw. He's like, "Ooh, shiny."
Oh yeah, man, we gotta watch that again, man. That movie's so good.
Oh yeah, that's a good fun movie.
Oh yeah, that's a great one. But yeah, X-Men First Class was surprisingly good. I enjoyed myself quite a bit. I wasn't going into it expecting anything like super deep or intense, and I think a lot of people who are giving this movie bad reviews now were kind of expecting a lot more, whereas I was expecting just a decent movie, and that's exactly what I got. And the final fight scene is great. I think the final fight's awesome. All of the characters end up using their powers to help stop this nightmare creature. So it's a good time. It's a jolly good time at the movie theater. I would recommend it.
Yeah, I still want to check it out, see what's going on, because I have heard mixed things for the film, and after hearing what you're saying here, Jake, yeah, I do want to check it out for myself.
Yeah, like I said, not a perfect movie, and it's definitely not the finale that the Fox X-Men universe deserved. They deserved much better as a final film. And I think they already got it in Logan. I think that the Fox universe got its final movie with Logan. Because we don't have to talk about Dark Phoenix. That's okay. We don't have to talk about that movie.
Yeah, you don't have to, man. It's okay.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
But
I
don't know if any of this ties into that movie.
You still haven't seen it, right?
No, I haven't watched Dark Phoenix yet,
That's
so
great.
I have no idea if any of this ties into that. But maybe now I will watch Dark Phoenix just to see if there is any connection. I don't know. I'm still mildly curious about it, so I think at some point I'm going to end up watching it, if for the sole fact of just saying I got to finally see it. Go watch it. Go check it out. Give those old Fox creators just one last round of money in their pockets, guys. Like, because I think right now I looked up the stats on it, and it's currently sitting at like 20 million is its overall take right now, which is really low.
Well, I think it's making more than Mulan, right?
Yeah. Oh, so. Definitely making more than Mulan. That's well, maybe, I don't know. Disney hasn't posted their stats for how many people have paid that premium ticket price, for the Disney Plus subscription stuff.
Well, I think it's in theaters in China.
Oh, is it?
I think so. And those numbers did not look good.
Yeah, I heard that in China it's not doing too hot over there. No. Oh man.
I heard another Mulan movie actually came out this year.
Yes. It's very violent. My dad watched a little bit of it, and he said, "Be careful when you watch it." Yeah, check. It's very intense, very dark compared to this one for sure. So he was like, "Yeah, if you watch it, just go into it knowing it's going to be a little intense." I was like, "Okay, good to know, Dad. Good to know."
Yeah, so that's a film that was made in China. That did come out this year. The best part is it's free on YouTube.
Oh, what? That's tight.
Yeah, I could send you the link if you want, Jake. They posted the whole thing on there.
That would be super sick. I'm down to check that out.
Yeah, it's called Matchless Mulan. I think that's the rough translation for it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
The posters look pretty cool. And I started a little bit of it just to check it out, and there is English subtitles because it was on a Chinese account, so I was kind of worried.
Oh, okay, but they got some English subs in there.
Yeah, it's where they have the Chinese subtitles, and then I think it's above or below it is the English
Man,
subtitles.
I'm sorry, dude. I only watch dubbed.
Only dubbed, yeah.
Only dubbed. That's.
But yeah, I heard that one was pretty brutal. I was thinking of checking it out.
That one I'm pretty excited about. I would be down to check out that version of Mulan. And I know that there's a couple others that have come out in the past that are a little bit more intense.
Final thoughts on New Mutants, though. I will say it is a little bittersweet. I think some theaters, like they put the description for the film as like, yes, the last installment for Fox's X-Men universe.
Oh, that's heart crushing, dude.
Yeah, because at this point forward, it is not going to be the same.
Oh no, definitely not. This is it, man. That's it. What a wild ride, man. Experimental films all over the place. I love it. I don't think, we will probably never see superhero movies that are quite like that again.
Well, while the movies are taking a back seat, the TV side of things is still going hard. I didn't watch New Mutants, but I did catch what is out of The Boys Season 2.
Ooh, The Boys Season 2.
Yeah, so Amazon Prime is back for Season 2. They're doing it different this time. The first 3 episodes dropped on the 4th.
Oh, I was going to say, how did you like that experimental shorter season thing they're doing, man? Like, Season 2 is only 3 episodes. Whoa.
Only 3 episodes,
yeah.
And then, they're going to be releasing every Friday. At the time of this recording, we haven't gotten to episode 5 yet, so I've only seen the first 4 episodes. And I forget who it was, if it was like the showrunner or the writer. It was somebody working on The Boys, and they explained that while they were writing the show, they just had a feeling like this shouldn't be dropped all at once for binging sake, and that it should be a weekly thing, so that way everyone can really absorb more into each episode because so much is going on.
You mean a bean counter guy came over to him and said, "Look at how much more money Mandalorian made because they released it 1 episode at a time."
So he said that, and then they went to Amazon to pitch the idea of making it a weekly show, and they were all bored for it. So that's how we got into this situation. I don't mind the weekly format.
But if you could have seen this whole season...
I mean, when I finished episode 3, and then the cliffhanger it had, I was like, oh man, I want episode 4 right now. I will admit, there are definitely those moments with the show. I want to say, I don't know how many episodes there are. It's probably going to be 8 like last time. So we'll probably finish at like mid-October, I'm going to guess.
Okay.
But yeah, so The Boys Season 2. Man, this is the first half, I guess you could say, already really fantastic stuff. They're doing a lot here. We're picking up where our old characters left off. We get introductions to new characters. So many plots going on in the show. Everybody's sort of branching out into their own paths of what they want to do for the season.
Do you have a highlight character that you like this season so far? Is there somebody who like really sticks out to you?
The top is still Homelander, I think.
Okay. I know that I've been seeing so many clips of Homelander, and I love him. Like, every clip I see of Homelander, I'm just in love with. I don't know. They're all hilarious.
Yeah, so like the shocker with Homelander in the first season, of course, is like, oh, hey, look, it's Superman, it's Captain America, the poster boy, the golden child type of thing. And then when you see like behind the scenes, which is like the whole point of the show, is like this is like a more realistic take on superheroes, and just seeing how much of an asshole he is, and just the things that he does, like sort of that shock factor, and then just seeing more into what's going on inside of Homelander's head is like the best parts for him. Like Anthony Starr does a great job playing this character, and they just keep going further with his character in season 2. Because we see at the end of the first season, he kills a very important character in the show and in his life, and it sort of breaks the shackles of his character. Now he's sort of kind of free to do what he really wants without having the worry of what this character tells him. and
Gotcha.
that
I think I know who you're talking about. To tell the audience, I haven't watched the show. I haven't seen The Boys. It's just not quite my speed of superhero stuff. Umbrella Academy's gets to that darkness, but not quite there. So that one still I can do okay. But I do know the story of what's going on in The Boys, and everything I've heard about it so far is awesome. I just wish it wasn't as brutal.
Yeah, season 2 so far has not delved into that. There's just one scene that we've seen in the trailers with the whale. I'm sure you saw that, Jake.
No, I haven't seen the scene with the whale.
Oh, okay.
I did not know there was the fact that the Deep is up to his same shenanigans from season 1, because I did see the dolphin scene in season 1
Yeah, oh, yeah.
where he loses the dolphin.
Yeah.
That part's great. So,
but yeah, man, Homelander is killing it for me right now, because I think there's probably 5 stories going on right now in season 2.
okay.
And his is the most interesting just because of how he's acting, because, you know, as crazy as a character he is still the poster boy on screen, on set, all that stuff. And just seeing the duality of his character and him kind of like spiraling out of control. And especially with episode 4 of what we saw him doing, like he goes to a place to kind of wind down and kind of vent out his frustrations. And at first I didn't know what was going on until we got the reveal. And that just made it all more, like, I would say great, but it's not really that great type of situation. It's great because I'm like, oh man, like this is just making his character more crazy. But realistically, I'm like, oh man, this is so weird. Like I kind of don't want to see more of this.
Yeah.
But that's really great stuff. The Deep, he's doing his own thing. It's introducing more concepts into the world that's kind of like playing in the backgrounds politically. And some of that stuff is fun. I do like how they're playing the Deep. He's sort of like the tragic comedic character.
Okay.
Yeah, and then, I mean, of course, another fan favorite has to be Carl Urban. You know, he does such a great job as Butcher in the show.
Of course.
He's fun to see. He has his own story, and that delves into some other stuff, which is cool. And then, we get some new characters that they're sort of pushing the show in a direction. I could see like they're going to be the main focus towards the second half of the season. And so, like, yeah, they're really hyping up her character. But so far, yeah, I'm really liking it, man. All the acting is great, because it's more of just character development and just situations we're going in. There's really not a lot of combat going on in the show, which is fine because, of course, our main characters are still just normal people, the boys, right? So it's not like they could really get into some crazy action against the Supes.
Like they're still pretty on the lower scale of stuff that they can do.
Yeah, because it's picked up from last season. So the behind the scenes, they're hiding from the police, from the superheroes. You know, they're just trying to figure out a way to get their life back to normal. And in doing so, they're trying to figure out what's really going on with the superheroes and with the company Vought behind the scenes. So it's really interesting stuff. And, you know, with the confirmation of season 3 and seeing how many superheroes are showing up, that does have me interested. I want to see how the rest of the season plays out, because I'm assuming like our main characters, will be coming back for season 3. So I want to see how it ends up here.
That'll be cool. That'll be pretty tight, I think.
Politically wise, I mean, there are stuff it feels like, oh, this is definitely like this is happening in the show because of what's happening now in real time. But I think that's just how it fits with the theme of having superheroes as like celebrities as well.
Like that was something I was kind of finding interesting listening to some people talk about it, is that's a lot more about what this is about, is more a critique on celebrity culture rather than with actual superhero stuff, which season 1 I felt like was much more a critique on superheroes, like just in general, just superhero genre stuff and everything.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why I didn't quite like it or quite get into it as far as I could. But I think if season 2 is more focusing on how does celebrity culture affect the common person type deal, I think I could be a little bit more behind that. So maybe I'll just watch season 2. Maybe I'll just hop in on that.
Yeah, because there was a plot point early on that's kind of in the background now, because I guess it's not as important. But it was like trying to get the superheroes into the military and have them do official military missions.
Okay.
And that was a point, and they're just like, we can't do that, because I think more of like towards the celebrity side of it. The main we see Starlight, right, one of the main characters from last season, and like how she sort of had to accept the fame in becoming a superhero and how she has to act, and it's all very fake type of deal.
Yeah, like there's a certain image that they have to uphold.
Yes. Another character, Maeve, and how like she has to hide her relationships because of the, just the attention that she gets as a hero and a celebrity. We got the confirmation of a death from last season, like out publicly. And then there's the whole side of like, well, how do we turn this into a good film and get all that in together? And then the new character, Stormfront, that shows up, she's very anti all of that. She goes on Instagram Live constantly and just giving out basically like the secrets of the industry. And just how she's just like, all of this really sucks, guys. You just don't listen to this and all that. So she's very anti what Homelander is all about. And that's where the tension comes in between those characters. And that's really great.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I had heard that there was a lot of, like, this is definitely critiquing sort of how celebrities are, like, think they're holier than the people around them. And there's like, you have to listen to us because we're celebrities and we know what we're talking about, even though maybe they don't fully know what they're speaking on type deal.
Yeah, like there's scenes where it's like, oh, this is the press day, like actors have for their films. And Stormfront is just like being very blunt and, not trying to be a character that represents Vought. And is just like pointing out a lot of stuff and saying like very crude words that they can't broadcast on television.
Ah, okay. So she's the George Carlin of the crew.
Yeah.
That's kind of fun.
Basically. But yeah, man, I highly recommend The Boys. Season 2 has been a great ride. And I just can't wait for the new episodes to come out.
That'll be, I might wait until season 2 is fully out and done. But season 2 sounds like a place I could hop on pretty easy. Especially if they haven't gone too over the deep end with just making certain characters like really evil and all that kind of stuff. So
yeah, I mean, like, so when the season starts, it does that typical thing where it gives us a recap of season 1, and it does give the important points, and some characters do bring up things that happen towards the end of the season. So I mean, and the details for season 1, right, Jake? So I'm sure.
Yeah, I know most of everything that happens in that season. So
yeah,
at least the big plot points.
Yeah, so I think if you dive into season 2, you'll probably be fine. So far, I don't think there's anything really confusing because like on episode 4, it was focused on Carla Urban's character and what's going on with him, and they do mention stuff that was addressed in season 1. So I think it is safe to say that you could just hop on season 2 when it's finished.
I don't know if you watched it, but there was a short film that got released about Butcher.
I did not. I forgot about.
Oh man, that short film is great. That is a great little 6-minute short, all about Butcher. It takes place, I think, after the beginning of this season / end of last season. Like he wakes up like on a road somewhere, like totally dazed, out of his brain. But then he ends up going to like an old military buddy's house, and he's already considered a fugitive at this point. So he's like on the run, and the guy sees him on TV, calls in the cops on him and stuff, and Butcher then summarily decides to take him out. So it's a pretty good little short. It's pretty nice.
Yeah, I remember they said it was coming out, and I forgot. Yeah, that's cool because we see him in the show. He wakes up where he is in the short film, and then it just cuts to a different scene, and then he comes back eventually.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I don't really know why this whole scene wasn't in the main.
My guess is that character he meets doesn't come back.
Well, yeah, because he dies.
Oh, okay, yeah.
In the short.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, he definitely does not come back after the short is over.
So that's cool. I like it when they can do stuff like that. I remember when Ant-Man, when they were hyping that up, and then they had all the clips of Scott Lang, like on the news. And then they would post those clips on YouTube. Like I like stuff like that.
Oh yeah, that stuff's fun. I like that. It feels very like the old Marvel shorts. It feels very similar to that.
Mm-hmm.
This little short story. So I liked it. I dug it. It was kind of nice. It also gave a little bit more context to Butcher's character, which I don't know if they do that in the show. They talk about like his military background and stuff, but it was kind of fun to see that aspect of it brought to the character.
I'm sure it highlights more for episode 4 because they do kind of talk about it just briefly, like not into detail, but it is mentioned. So I'm guessing that's probably why they dropped it before episode 4 came out. Yeah, so I'll check that out, and yeah, we'll come back and give a full assessment of season 2 once that's over.
Yeah, I'd be down to. I think I'm definitely going to try checking it out. So I'd be down to do another Marvel talk on that stuff.
Yeah, that's cool, man.
In the meantime, I think what you need to go do now is you should go watch at least the first season of Umbrella Academy, because it's very good.
Yeah, I keep meaning to check it out. I remember talking to Shelby about it when season 1 premiered.
Yeah, I don't know what put me off so much of season 1. I honestly think it might just be Ellen Page being a part of it.
That's right. She is in the show, huh?
And she's not bad. Ellen Page is not bad, but she's definitely not my favorite part of either season.
Oh, okay.
And I don't know if that's like part of what the show is trying to do. It might be like that might be an aspect of the show where they're just like you're not supposed to fully like this one character. But everybody else on that show is great. And oh my God, Danny, you need to dress up as this Diego guy. Oh my God. He's like in season 2, he's just got your haircut. Like, it's awesome. There's a character on here named Luther, who's like the leader of the team. And he has like super crazy huge muscles. He's constantly eating and lifting weights, and he's in like brawl fights in the second season and stuff. It's pretty great. And there's all kinds of crazy time travel shenanigans and alternate dimension stuff, and it's so wacky. It feels like it should have been called X-Men, but it wasn't. Like the Uncanny X-Men is where I would have put this. So, but it's great. There's I don't know, all the actors in this show are really good too. I love the story so far. All their powers are really interesting, which is something I really like, is that all of them have very unique superpowers and how they deal with those powers and stuff. And there might be an underlying plot about aliens. I don't know. Like, it's this show's wild. Like, at this point, this show could throw anything at me with the plot and I would believe it. I don't know. I would say check it out if you're at all curious about it, because I got hooked after watching the very first episode, and then I binged each season in like 2 24-hour periods. So
oh, nice.
Yeah, I got super hooked in. Like the cliffhangers on that one they're pretty good, man. They're pretty dang good. And then I got to the end of season 2 and I was like, there's no season 3. No. I'm so frustrated. I was like, oh, I just want to know what happens next.
Cool, man. Yeah, I'm definitely going to check it out. I just got to figure out when I'm going to do it.
Because it's super worth checking out. And that goes for any of you listeners out there. If The Boys is just a little too dark for your taste, Umbrella Academy is still pretty dark, but it pulls it back a lot from the levels that The Boys gets to.
Okay. All right, man. So I think that's safe to say we can go ahead and wrap up this episode. Yeah, buddy. And yes, like I said in the beginning of the episode, we'll definitely be back soon. Because there are some news pieces to talk about that's been going on. That's some of it's interesting, some of it's just stuff that's out there because there's nothing else going on because of COVID times. So,
I mean, the Batman news was pretty bleh, but
oh yeah, that happened too. I forgot about that.
Yep. But apparently they're gonna resume filming like next week. So I don't know.
Oh, okay. So that's okay.
Yeah. So that's like 2 weeks ago. He catches it, and then next week he's better. So I guess he got over it. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, we got some stuff to talk about next
Yeah.
episode for sure.
Oh, one last thing. I forgot about this.
Oh,
Concerning the boys, anyways. The what's his name? Anthony Starr, the actor that plays Homelander. Some
yes.
people have been saying that he would be a great Reverse Flash, and
Ooh,
I
yeah.
totally agree. He definitely has that. I guess you could say psychotic side to
Yep.
what Reverse Flash brings to the table. Especially after coming off of Flashpoint, like I talked about, like how Reverse Flash plays right there and how he taunts Barry Allen. I could definitely
Yeah.
see Anthony Starr pulling stuff off like that.
Oh yeah, 100%. Ah, that would be awesome.
But hey, man, while we wait for those episodes to come out and for the new Marvel talk, Jake, where can we find you at, man?
Oh, you guys can find me anywhere on the internet at Corruption Cosplay with K's. Yeah, I've got some new cosplay stuff coming up. Like I was telling Danny off mic, my Pattinson suit just arrived. So I will be taking some pictures probably in that later this evening. So look forward to some of that over on my Instagram page. How about you, Danny? Where can we find you?
Yeah, of course, you could find me anywhere on social media at Negator7, as well as over on the main episode, the main podcast, Unversed Podcast, as we're slowly trying to get back on our schedule over there as well. So, guys, thanks for listening, and until next time, stay Avengers strong.